Have you ever walked into a home so clean, so calm, that it didn't smell like anything at all, and somehow that nothingness felt peaceful? A few years ago, I visited a friend in Kyoto. It was a rainy afternoon. My shoes were soaked, my coat damp, and my mood, well, let's say I wasn't exactly feeling fresh. But the moment I stepped into her home, everything changed. There was no scent of candles, no trace of perfume, not even the usual living room smell. Just clean air, not cold, not sterile, just alive, like the room itself had exhaled. That day I realized something. Freshness isn't always something you can smell. Sometimes it's something you feel. So what's the secret? How do Japanese homes, small, often crowded, and built in humid climates, still manage to smell like nothing in the best way possible? Today, we're stepping into that mystery. From spiritual roots to quiet daily rituals, we'll explore the subtle, powerful habits that keep Japanese homes effortlessly fresh, without sprays, without machines, and without trying to impress anyone. Let's begin. A stranger in a scentless land. The first time I visited Japan, I expected many things. Crowded train, quiet temples, delicious noodles. But what I didn't expect was silence in the air. It happened on my second day in Tokyo. I had been walking all morning, weaving through streets filled with the smell of food stalls, exhaust fumes, and city life. By the time I reached my local host apartment, my senses were overloaded. I braced myself for more of the same indoors. But as soon as I stepped inside, the noise stopped. The smells vanished. I remember taking off my shoes, stepping onto the wooden floor, and standing still. It wasn't that the apartment smelled good. It simply didn't smell like anything. No food, no sweat, no lingering perfume. Just clean, like a blank canvas, waiting. It felt as though the walls had been quietly breathing all day, purifying the air while no one noticed. My shoulders dropped. My lungs took a deeper breath. And suddenly I felt calm. That moment stayed with me long after the trip. Because back home, walking into a house often meant walking into a scent. Sometimes pleasant, sometimes overwhelming. Candles, sprays, cooking smells, laundry detergent. The air always told you something. But in that Japanese apartment, the air told me nothing. And somehow, I trusted it more because of that. I later learned that this wasn't an accident. Japanese homes are designed and maintained with intention, built not to impress the nose, but to soothe the soul. And so began my journey to understand. Why does a home that smells like nothing feel like everything? Let's uncover the cultural, spiritual, and practical choices behind this scentless serenity, starting with the heart of Japanese belief, the sacred link between cleanliness and the soul, Shinto and the sacred scent of cleanliness. In the West, we often clean because we have to. It's a task on a checklist, a Saturday chore, something to do before guests arrive. But in Japan, cleanliness runs much deeper. It's not just about appearances. It's about reverence. And to understand that, we need to look at Shinto. Shinto isn't just Japan's native religion. It's the quiet heartbeat of Japanese life. It doesn't preach with books or sermons. Instead, it lives in rituals, symbols, and everyday choices. At the entrance of every Shinto shrine, you'll see a basin of water. Before stepping inside, worshippers wash their hands and rinse their mouths, not because they're dirty, but because the act of cleansing prepares the soul. This belief that physical purity reflects inner purity has seeped into every corner of Japanese culture, including the home. In a traditional Japanese house, the act of removing your shoes at the entrance isn't just about hygiene. It's a moment of transition, a silent bow to the space you're about to enter. The souls that walk through the chaos of streets will not tread on the peace of home. Even the word for cleaning, suji, is the same used in schools and temples. It means more than wiping surfaces. It's a practice of care, a way to show gratitude for the space that shelters you. To clean is not to erase dirt. It's to realign yourself with harmony. And in this mindset, scent becomes sacred. Not something to be masked with sprays or perfumes, but something to be respected, cultivated, and understood. It's why the Japanese don't chase after strong artificial fragrances. To them, a home should not smell like something. It should feel like nothing, still neutral, open, ready for life to happen. And the beautiful part? This reverence for cleanliness doesn't require wealth or status. It begins with a habit, a mindset, and it's woven into the daily rhythm of life, starting the moment you step through the door. Next, let's explore how that door literally is designed to keep the outside out and the inside calm. Design that breathes. Why Japanese homes never trap smell. Take a walk through a Japanese neighborhood, and you'll notice something peculiar. The houses may be small, even compact by Western standards, and yet they never feel cramped. The air flows, the light moves, the walls seem to breathe. That's not a happy accident. It's centuries of design wisdom. You see, Japan is a land of extremes. Sweltering summers, damp rainy seasons, cold winters that creep into your bones. To survive and stay well, homes weren't just built for shelter. They were built for harmony with nature. Traditional Japanese architecture, known as minka, was designed to flow with the seasons. Large sliding doors, open verandas, paper-thin walls, all allowed air to pass freely, carrying away heat, humidity, and scent. Even today, in ultra-modern Tokyo apartments surrounded by steel and glass, this philosophy quietly lives on. Take cross-ventilation, for example. It sounds like an architect's term, but it's a daily comfort in Japanese life. Windows are often placed on opposite sides of a room. That way, when one window is opened, the air doesn't just enter, it travels, sweeping through the space, pulling out moisture, cooking smells, and yesterday's stale air. This natural breeze becomes a silent housekeeper. Vents, shoji screens, and even the placement of balconies are chosen not just for beauty, but for airflow. In a land where mold can grow overnight and humidity clings to every corner, movement is survival. And it's not just about windows. Japanese homes are light in materials and in clutter. Open floor plans, multipurpose rooms, and minimalist decor aren't just aesthetic choices. They're practical. Fewer walls mean fewer stagnant corners. Less furniture means fewer places for dust and odors to hide. Compare that to a Western home. Wall-to-wall carpeting, heavy drapes, bulky sofas, and closed doors. We often trap scent without realizing it. But in Japan, space is respected. Air is honored. And so, the home becomes a living thing, breathing, refreshing, and always ready for a new day. In the next section, you'll discover one of the most beautiful morning rituals in Japan. Simple, silent, and powerful. It's the secret behind why every Japanese home starts the day with freshness. The daily practice of opening the windows and letting the soul of the house exhale. The ritual of daily airing. How wind becomes a cleaner. It's just past sunrise. The streets are still quiet.
Quite delicious
But if you
today.
walk through a Japanese neighborhood
Would
at
you
this
like
hour,
another cup?
you might notice a pattern. Windows sliding open. Curtains drawn aside. Balcony doors quietly letting the morning air in. This daily practice has a name. Kanki. It means airing out. But to the Japanese, it's more than ventilation. It's a reset before breakfast, before the rush of the day, before even checking a phone. Many Japanese open their homes to the outside. For 10 or 15 minutes, they allow fresh air to sweep through, carrying away the heaviness of yesterday. No matter the season, humid summer or icy winter, Kanki happens. Because in this moment, the home breathes. But it's not just a house that's refreshed. So is the spirit inside it. This ritual reflects a quiet wisdom. That air is not just invisible, it's sacred. That even if we can't see it, the air we live in shapes our mood, our clarity, our health. And in Japan's humid climate, this habit does more than restore calm. It prevents mold. It keeps fabrics dry. It lets sunlight touch bedding, tatami with floors, killing bacteria, lifting mustiness, and keeping every corner of the home light and alive. Compare that to homes where windows stay shut all day. Air becomes still, smells build up, energy stagnates. But in Japanese homes, the breeze is part of the household. It's as essential as the kitchen or the floor beneath your feet. Some might say it's just habit, but ask anyone who's done it for years and they'll tell you it feels like prayer, a quiet honoring of a new day. So the next time you feel the air in your home growing heavy, do what the Japanese do. Open the windows. Let the old energy out. Let the wind clean what hands cannot. Coming up next, we'll meet the quiet guardians hidden throughout Japanese homes. Simple, natural tools that fight odor without ever making a sound. The invisible army, charcoal, tatami, and other natural deodorizers. If you were to walk through a Japanese home with a magnifying glass, you might not see anything high-tech. No wall-mounted scent diffusers. No artificial plug-ins humming in the corners. And yet the air smells clean. Always. So how do they do it? The answer lies in an invisible army. Silent, natural, and endlessly patient. Let's start with one of the most humble warriors. Bamboo charcoal, known in Japan as tatsumi. This black, porous stick looks like something you'd throw in fire. But in Japanese homes, it's a quiet powerhouse. Placed in shoe cabinets, refrigerators, closets, or even tucked behind bookshelves, it absorbs moisture, neutralizes odors, and purifies the air without releasing a single scent of its own. No sound, no chemicals, just harmony. Next, look under your feet. Traditional Japanese homes are lined with tatami mats, woven from natural rush grass. More than just flooring, tatami breathes. When the air is damp, tatami soaks in the excess moisture. When it's dry, it slowly releases it. This quiet regulation keeps mold, mildew, and musty smells from ever taking root. And over time, tatami develops its own faint, earthy aroma, soft, familiar, and deeply grounding. A scent you can only describe as home. And then there's enoki wood, a sacred Japanese cypress used in temples and bathhouses. Its natural oils give off a light forest scent, clean, calming, and antibacterial by nature. Some homes place enoki blocks in closets or drawers. Others use in bath trays or small wall panels. Whenever warm air passes over it, the wood releases its quiet song. Even in the smallest spaces, the bathroom, the laundry nook, the kitchen drawers, you'll often find ceramic purifiers, silica gel sachets, or herbal pouches. They don't declare themselves. They don't overpower. But they work day and night in service of a single goal, to keep the air neutral. Why? Because in Japanese philosophy, the perfect scent is no scent at all, not a layer of perfume covering something unpleasant, but the absence of anything that disturbs. This approach isn't flashy. It's disciplined, it's thoughtful, and it reminds us that sometimes the most powerful solutions are the ones you never notice. In the next chapter, we'll explore the deeper reason why Japanese homes feel so light, not just in smell but in spirit, the philosophy of minimalism, and how less truly leads to more. Clutter is the enemy of freshness. Step into a typical Japanese home, and one thing stands out almost immediately. There's space, not just on the floor, but on the shelves, on the counters, even on the walls. There's room for the air to move. And that's no coincidence. In Japan, clutter is not just seen as a mess. It's seen as weight on the air, on the eyes, and on the soul. Unlike the Western ideal of a lived-in home, filled with decorations, souvenirs, and furniture for every corner, the Japanese embrace the concept of negative space. It's the silence between notes, the pause between thoughts, the empty corner that allows breath to flow. Why does this matter for freshness? Because clutter traps. It traps dust, it traps moisture, and it traps smells. Think about it. A shelf packed with trinkets doesn't allow for air to circulate. Heavy curtains hold onto kitchen odors. Overfilled closets create stagnant pockets where dampness can quietly build. But a minimalist space? It's like a lung that breathes fully. Every object has purpose. Every surface can be wiped clean in seconds. And when light enters a room, it touches everything, drying, warming, purifying. The Japanese aren't minimalists just because it looks peaceful on Instagram. They do it because it feels peaceful in real life. And it's not about deprivation. A Japanese room might have only a low table, a vase with a seasonal flower,
tatami,
and a futon
walls,
rolled up in the
single
closet.
Cushion,
But nothing is
drying,
missing.
warming,
In fact,
purifying.
it feels full of intention, of quiet, of balance. Even materials matter. Natural woods, breathable cottons, woven baskets. All chosen not only for their beauty, but because they don't trap synthetic odors the way plastics and chemical fabrics do. This isn't just design. It's respect for space, for air, and for the people who live inside it. So the next time your room feels heavy, don't reach for an air freshener. Remove one item. Clear one corner. Let the room breathe, because when space opens up, freshness flows in. And in the next section, we'll turn to most tempting place for scent to linger, the kitchen. We'll see how Japanese discipline transforms even the boldest meals into moments of fleeting fragrance, never overstaying their welcome. Cooking without a trace, the Japanese kitchen discipline. If there's one room in the house where scents love to linger, it's the kitchen. Fried onions, simmered sauces, last night's dinner. They have a way of clinging to the air, the walls, and even your clothes. But step into a Japanese kitchen, and you might notice something strange. No lingering fish smell, no whiff of oil, no musty leftovers from last week's takeout. It's not because the food is bland, far from it. Japanese cuisine is rich with flavor. Grilled mackerel, fermented miso, deep umami broths. The difference lies not in what they cook, but how they treat the kitchen. In Japan, cooking is a disciplined, graceful, intentional, and deeply respectful space. Before a single pot is placed on the stove, the windows are open. The ventilation fan hums to life. Not during or after cooking, but before. This sets the tone. The kitchen is not just a place to make food. It's a place to protect freshness. During cooking, movements are efficient.
Surfaces
Pans
are dried.
wiped, spills cleaned, lids covered. Deep frying? Rare. And when done, it's brief.
Trash is
Carefully
sealed.
managed with fans, towels, and open air. There is no chaos, no waiting until later. Later is already too late. Once the meal is over, the cleanup begins immediately. Dishes are not left to soak. Counters are not left sticky. Surfaces are dried. The stove is wiped. The trash is sealed. And most importantly, it's taken out. Even small details matter. You'll often find bamboo charcoal tucked discreetly in kitchen drawers or near the trash bin. Some households line sink cabinets with deodorizing sheets. It's not high-tech, it's high awareness. Because in Japan, a home's smell is a reflection of the person who cares for it. A fresh-smelling kitchen says, "This space is loved." A lingering odor says, "Something was
go."
left undone." But more than pride, it's mindfulness. A desire to leave no trace, to enjoy the meal, then let it go. It's the same spirit that guides so much of Japanese life. Savor the moment, then reset the space. Don't cling, don't cover. Clear. Next, We'll explore how this quiet respect for air, space, and presence extends beyond cleaning into the very philosophy of scent itself. Because in Japan, what you don't smell might be the most beautiful fragrance of all. Freshness is a mindset, not a product. Walk into a Japanese home, and you won't be hit by scent. There are no overpowering florals, no chemical citrus, no artificial fresh linen sprayed into the air. Instead, there's nothing. And somehow, that nothingness feels like everything. Because the secret to a fresh-smelling Japanese home doesn't lie in products. It lies in mindset. In Japan, freshness isn't something you spray into existence. It's something you cultivate, quietly, consistently, and with care. It begins with intention. Opening the window in the morning, removing shoes at the door, wiping the counter, even when no one's looking. It's in the choice to air out a futon in the sun, to use vinegar instead of bleach,
treating space as
something sacred, not just functional. And perhaps most beautifully, it's not performative. No one's trying to impress you with scented candles or smell-proof gadgets. They're simply living in rhythm, respecting air, honoring space, breathing with their homes, not over them. Even when incense is lit, it's not to mask something unpleasant. It's to mark a moment, a blessing for the day's end, a whisper of serenity that rises, dances, and disappears. In the West, we often fight scent. We cover it, blast it, eliminate it. But in Japan, the approach is gentler.
A blessing for the
They don't
day's
fight
end.
odors. They prevent them through harmony, discipline, and love. So what can we learn? We may not have tatami mats or hinoki wood. We might live in busy cities, in small apartments, with noisy neighbors and fast lives. But we can open a window.
We can
simplify a corner. We can choose natural over artificial. We can treat our space not as something to control, but as something to care for. Because in the end, a fresh home isn't about what you smell. It's about how you feel when you walk through the door. And just like the Japanese have quietly done for centuries, you can begin today, not with a spray, but with a breath.